I'm going to show you exactly how to get ads set up for your remodeling company to bring in bathroom leads, kitchen leads, whatever leads you want. And I'm going to use the exact same setup that we use for our clients. So I'm going to show it to you, nothing held back. Just like we did with this campaign here. This campaign did over 310 leads in a single month, March 1st to the 31st, for under $1,400 in spend. And that ended up bringing in over $190,000 in sales so far. We still have appointments booked. We still have estimates and quotes and everything else that we got to follow up on. So there is a lot of opportunity with this style of campaign. And I'm going to show you exactly how to set it up. It's basically going to be an ad just like this that attracts in folks that are in the planning and budgeting phase. And that goes over to a simple tool like this that allows them to understand the cost estimates and estimations for their project. And then we get leads that look just like this. Not name, email, and phone number. That's completely useless to you. These people answer over 16 questions. Everything from the demographics, so you know whether they're high value, low value, do they own their home, the size of their project, whether they're interested in a actual bathroom design and not just a cookie cutter or whatever comes in vision, and actually paying for it, and everything else you need to know about fixtures, as well as showing intent that they are interested in sitting down for a quick 15 to 20-minute concept design call where you can go through some of the details and get an understanding of their vision. And they commit to showing up to that call within the next 3 days. So you're getting everything you need. And normally, what we do is we actually cut loose a bunch of the people here that just don't answer what we're after. So if they're not high value projects, they're people that want the lowest of value fixtures, everything along those lines. We just flat out throw them out the door. And everybody who is high quality that wants a very high budget design and has committed to showing up for these calls, those are the leads that we let through. And those are the ones that we actually show a self booking page just like this that allows them to book their own appointment. It's just a concept call, it's not an in home appointment, in order to talk through their project and further verify that it all makes sense. And in the case that they don't book this, that's when our appointment team comes into play and they start doing their work to book these leads that are high quality, exactly what you're after, into appointments. And I'm going to show you exactly how to set all the ads up that tie into this type of campaign. We don't have enough time for me to walk you through how to build the funnel and everything else. So I'm just going to show you how the ads work and how we craft ads that look just like this. And at the end of the call, I'm actually going to give you away a template link to some of our best performing creative. So that way you don't need to start from scratch with what ad images to use or otherwise. And I'm even going to show you how we can set up your campaign for you at the end. So to start, let's dive into Facebook. All right, so we're over here in the Facebook dashboard. This is a brand new ad account. I've done nothing to it, haven't even connected pages or created pixels or any of that stuff. And I'm going to walk you through how to set up a campaign in here. I'm also going to walk you through integrating the pixel into a funnel. As I mentioned, I'm not going to walk through funnel building. It's just going to get really complicated if we start diving into that. This will be a 10-hour video with everything along those lines. So at the very least, I'm going to show you how to set up an ad. And you can choose to just capture leads on Facebook, or you can choose to send over leads to a survey or to a cost estimator like we do, whatever makes the most sense. And I am going to give away a couple of bonuses during the call and really at the end of the call, as well as walk you through how we can do all the setup and stuff for you. And obviously we go very in depth in creating funnels. But all that said, to start, we're here on our ad platform. This is a fresh ad account, so I haven't even added billing info or anything like that to it. So we're going to walk through it as we go. First things first, we want a pixel. Pixel is basically going to be a piece of code that is going to track every single thing that happens on the pages that it is embedded in. This is important for two things. One, it's going to allow us to track how many clicks have come from Facebook and actually gone to our funnels, our surveys, our tools, our website, all of that stuff. The other thing that's important is it is going to allow us to send accurate data back to Facebook and tell it when someone has become a lead. And the way we use it, like I said, we do a disqualification. If I go back here, if someone goes through our survey or goes through our funnel and says, no, I don't own my home, or, I'm only looking for a powder room, or I only want the lowest and cheapest of fixtures and faucets, vanities, all that stuff, We actually don't send that data back to Facebook, meaning we only send stuff like this that's the highest of quality back to Facebook and say, yes, this person's become a lead, because that data back and forth is going to train Facebook to look for better quality people. That means it's only going to look for the highest value projects. It's going to look for folks that fit all of our needs. And I'll explain a little bit about how that works as we get into it. So, first up, we are going to hit the three lines here. We are going to go to Events Manager. That's where all of the pixels and data and everything else like that lives. And inside here, you may see some of my pixels. Yeah, there we go. You see your modelingscaling.com pixel, but we're going to create a new one. So you probably wouldn't see stuff like this. That's fine. All of the things on the left here are going to be the same. So we're going to click Connect New Data Source. We're going to select Web because we're embedding this into our website. We'll hit Connect. And we're going to call this, I'm just going to call this Remodel Test. You would want to call it whatever your business name is, just to keep it simple so you know it's the pixel related to your business. We'll hit create, and it's going to walk us through kind of a setup wizard to make sure that we get the right data in here. Um, I would recommend not following this wizard entirely because there's only one real core piece of things that we need. And by all means, if you were just going to collect some data on Facebook, skip forward in the video. You don't need to see this. You don't need to understand how any of this works. No problems at all. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'll just say I don't have a website because I don't want to walk through Facebook's wizard of how to set up things. I'll hit continue. I'm going to select do it yourself, hit next, and I only want the metapixel because I don't want to go through the text setup. And for most folks, you won't want to do this. If you're working with our team, we do all this for you. If you're working with an advertising team, they'll likely do all this for you as well. But we'll click metapixel, we'll hit next, install code manually. And this is going to seem somewhat daunting, but it's really not, I promise. So we'll hit install code manually. We'll hit copy code. And this is that code that I was talking about, just a snippet of code. We're going to go over to wherever you're going to drive traffic. So here I have one of our funnels. This is just one of our templates that we use to bring in traffic for clients and convert leads. I'm going to go here and embed it. If you wanted to put this on your website and maybe you put a cost estimator on your website, you would go to your website and install it. Likely your webmaster would install it. For us, we're using Go High Level in our system here. I'm going to go ahead and click on settings for this funnel. I'm going to paste this code in the head tracking code. What that means is in the head section of every single website, or sorry, every single web page under this funnel, this pixel is going to trigger and it's going to show. And that's going to allow us to send that data back to Facebook and say, yes, someone has landed on one of these pages. And so I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And there we go. Now that's all set up. Now, there's multiple ways to ensure you're sending data back to Facebook on what's a lead versus what's not. I'm going to show you how we do it. And then in the setup, I'll actually do two quick setups. I'll do a setup using this data, and I'll do a setup using just capturing data on Facebook only, just because it's simple and I do want folks to be able to have this accessible. There's nothing wrong with getting a lead with name, email, phone number, and a couple of custom questions. It is fine all the same as long as you're following up with them. So we have our pixel installed in this funnel. Now I want to make sure that I'm only sending it to sending back high quality data to Facebook. And you can see here, I have a survey. This is the embed of one of our pricing surveys, basically giving them a cost estimate. And we have qualified and disqualified. Qualified means someone who answers things like this: not a powder room. They do own their own home. Demographics are over 40, over 30, really. So we know that they have had some time to accumulate some wealth. They're interested in a bathroom design, and they're interested in sitting down for a concept call. And of course, the fixtures are all relatively high quality. As long as they answer all of that positively, that's what we would call a qualified lead. And so they go to this page. If someone came in here and said, I just want the lowest of quality, I don't want to show up to a call, it's just my powder room that needs to be done, it's not worth going out there for that size of project. So we would send them over to the thank you disqualified, which just gives them a nice little note saying, hey, unfortunately, this project isn't the best that fits for us. So unfortunately, we can't help you, or whatever messaging you want. You don't have to discard them like we do. Then under thank you qualified, we're going to click that. And like I said, what we want to do immediately after is send them over to a calendar. So that's what we do. What I want to do is hit edit here. And I'm going to go to tracking code at the top here. So if you're using Go High Level, you'll be somewhat familiar with this. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to paste in the head tracking code our Facebook pixel that I already had copied. And I'm going to make one single change. And this is why I say this might look daunting, but it really isn't. I promise it's small changes. It's going to look the same every time. Line 12, where it says page view, we are going to change that to lead, capital L. No spaces, nothing else added. We'll hit save, and we'll hit save, and then we'll hit publish. And that is it. Now our tracking is set up. Only the best of data is going back to Facebook, and we're ready to create our ads. So let's hit back here. And then we are going to go back to Facebook. 3 lines at the top here. We'll go to Ads Manager, and we are ready to get started here. So we're not going to add payment method yet. We'll do that later. Let's hit create. And like I said, you're probably not going to see this because you're going to have your payment info in here, but I just created this account. We're going to scroll down. I'm going to select lead because we are tracking leads. Yes, I want traffic. Yes, I want sales, but lead is the actual objective that we're using here because we're tracking the capture of information. So let's select that. I'm going to hit continue, and I'm going to select manual leads campaign for one main reason. All of this stuff that's supposed to make life easier that Facebook tends to put out is usually good if you have data. So when you're just starting with a brand new campaign, brand new ad account just like this stuff is usually going to be detrimental to your results. It's not going to get you good results, or it's going to burn a lot more money to see results beforehand. So I'm going to use manual leads campaign, and I'll show you exactly how we set it up. It's not really going to add too much to the steps. In fact, I believe it actually removes stuff from the steps, but this is how we do it. So we'll hit continue. Now we have 3 steps to set up here. As you can see, there's a campaign, ad set, ad. You can kind of look at this like you would a computer maybe. So this is a folder on your computer. This is a subfolder on your computer, but just one that has some details around who you're targeting. And this is like a file within that folder. That's, I guess, the best way to look at it. It's a tiered system. You'll always have a campaign that contains a ad set that can contain multiple ads, anywhere from 1 to 50. So we're just going to go through Facebook's little wizard here. Like you see, they have a next button, and we're going to set this up. So campaign name, just whatever we're going to be targeting, right? So what we usually would use is the state or city. So we'll say something like New York. Actually, we'll do one local. So we'll do something like Grimsby. Oh, Grimsby. I can't spell today. Hold on. Grimsby. There we go. Ontario. Bathroom remodel. So that is going to be our campaign name. We know the city, we know the province or the state, and we know what the campaign is about. So bathroom remodeling. Then we do need to set a special ad category here. So there's going to be a lot of back and forth about this, I'm sure, if you're someone who does advertising and you're watching this. Special ad category, if you really read all the rules and regulations, housing includes home improvement, includes home renovation. However, even Facebook has it as a gray area. You may get away without doing the step. However, if Facebook decides to penalize you, they are not shy about just disabling your account and permanently disallowing you from running ads. As a safety precaution, we always have it in place just so that way we don't end up in that scenario, because obviously it's detrimental to our business, our clients, and so on. So I will select housing. Basically, we're declaring that we are running ads relating to housing, and it does limit some of what we can target. What this really will kind of explain here. Actually, I'll explain it as we go through it. But actually, here we go. This explains it perfectly. So it will reduce the amount of options you have available for targeting, and it'll also limit what you can target in terms of location or what you can target in terms of interests. And it does this because it's part of the Non-Discrimination Act, related to real estate and otherwise. So we'll hit modify ad sets, and that will go ahead and update to remove those functionalities. By all means, test if you want. However, after running millions of dollars in ad spend, we found this is a relative saving grace to not having your ad account disabled and having headaches and hassles. So the next up, we want to set a budget down here. Advantage campaign budget. If you turn this on, you'll be allowed to set a daily budget. I do recommend daily budget. Leave all the rest of the settings as is, but set whatever budget you want to spend per day. So let's say we'll spend $50 a day. It's a pretty decent amount, and that will probably get us low end to, we're testing initially, probably low end to high end 5 or 6 leads in the first couple of days per day, while we're dialing things in. Then let's hit next. We don't need to touch any of the other settings. Ad set name. So this is within this campaign called Grimsby, Ontario bathroom remodel. Usually what we do here is just specify what location we're targeting again, and then if there's any nuance to what we're targeting in terms of interests or age or anything along those lines. So usually we would do something along the lines of Grimsby, Ontario, broad, and I'll explain in a second why we're doing that. But this would basically be location and then what we're targeting or what adjustments, what adjustments there are to the targeting. Conversion location. So again, I will go through the setup twice quickly here. This is all about the website setup. So if you skip a few minutes forward, I'll talk through the instant forms, which is collecting data on Facebook without needing a website. So I would go through and collect and select website here because we're going to do the funnel targeting setup first. Then pixel, we'll just choose the one we created called remodel test. In this case, it should be your company name. Conversion event, basically, what are we optimizing for? Do we want a lead? Do we want just someone to click on content? What do we want? We've specified lead is what we want. That is a good quality person that fits all of our criteria. And you can also just search here for it. If you don't see it here, you can just search lead and it will select only that one. We're going to get rid of all these pop-ups because we don't need any of that stuff. And then let's scroll down a little bit further and to the audience section. So the audience section, kind of like you can see here, there's limited things that can be adjusted. If I click on age, it's not going to let me select anything. If I go to location, I'll hit edit. I'm going to remove Canada because almost nobody here is going to want to target a country alone. You'll want to target your local area. So I'm going to type in Grimsby, Ontario. And this is one of the major impacts of using special ad category. If I zoom in on the map here, you can see it enforced a 15-mile radius, which is not really that big depending on where you're targeting. But as you can see here, this starts getting a little bit unruly because it's actually clipping a little bit of an area here that's a lot more than just a 20 or 30-minute drive. And so if you're in this type of scenario, because 15 miles will be the minimum that you can target with special ad category enabled. If you're in this type of scenario, what you need to do is use these pins. And so that's exactly what I'm going to use. I'm going to get rid of this. I want to target basically this city up to here. I know that's going to be about a 25 minute-ish drive. And I'm probably willing to go out to about here in this area because it's all country road. It's not going to be a long drive, even if I have to go from here to here. That's probably about 20-25 minutes because there's not going to be any traffic. So I'll hit drop pin, and I just kind of want to position this, and you can drop as many pins and remove as many as you want, so you don't need to be hyper precise here. But I know that when I typed in Grimsby, it was right here on this dot. So I want it a little bit further away from there to the right and probably down, so I don't clip this area over here that starts going into highway and major city, and it starts becoming kind of a pain. So I'm going to go probably about here. And this kind of gets in the area I want. I actually do want a little bit more of this city covered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a second pin. I'll just go a little bit further up, a little bit further out, drop another one, That about covers it. There we go. That's my target area. Nothing wrong with if you have to put 5 or 6 of these in. I believe there's a limit of about 25, so you can't go too crazy, but you will be able to get pretty narrow here in the areas you want, obviously within reason, within this 15-mile barrier is a minimum. Outside of that, the reason why we go broad, so I don't add detailed targeting here, and detailed targeting is basically interests. The reason why I don't add that to start is because we are feeding back Facebook what we want versus what we don't want. And when we're doing things like that, we don't need to go further into targeting because over time Facebook will get better and better and better at what we want, right? So that's going to do infinitely better job than us trying to figure out what targeting works. And yes, the first 1 or 2 leads are not going to be great, but beyond that, you're going to start seeing a significant increase in quality as you go. And this is going to be your kind of moat within your area, where if you have your data that well trained to the best of best of best quality, no one else is going to be able to compete after you get 100, 200, 500 leads in. They're just not going to be able to. So that's why we do it that way. You're going to get infinitely better targeting, infinitely better data. So we're actually not going to do anything else on this page. We don't need to worry about placements. We don't need to worry about languages, none of that. If you're in a certain area, maybe you're borderlining Mexico, or in our case, if we were borderlining Quebec, we might specify English. But generally, I would expect if someone owns a home, they're in this area, it's someone we could deal with and handle. But if you have those nuances, by all means, hit edit and apply a language. So let's hit next. Then we are going to go ahead and set an ad name. Normally, we like to create multiple ads. And the simplest way for most folks to do this, rather than create multiple ads, you're going to have a bunch of these new lead elements over here. We're actually going to be able to create multiple ads within this one page. And so I'm going to call this just bathroom remodel before, after. So basically what it is that we're offering, and what the creative is. So we're going to be using before and after images, and I'll show you what those look like in a second here. We're going to select a Facebook page. So if you don't have a Facebook page, you'll want to watch a video to how to get that set up. I will eventually push one up and publish one, but for right now, I don't have one. Just Google how to set up a Facebook page and then create one. In our case, I'm just going to use this remodelscaling.com one. Again, ignore these yellow bits. These are in relation to ours because we have a few hundred ads live, which is actually close to the maximum that's allowed. You won't see this if you just select your brand new page or a page you've previously been using. Then we'll scroll down a little bit more here. And here we go. This is where we're going to go ahead and add our images, as well as our text and our headlines. And so what we normally do is we normally run ads with creative that looks just like this. So before and after, before and after. Ooh, let me scroll down right amount there. There we go. Before and after, before and after, before and after, before and after. We don't have, notice we don't have a ton of text here. We do that because you want to start with this. And if we run all of these and we notice, hey, after running all this, this is generally what's working. So it's the this or that style. We can add further details to it. We can add our website at the bottom. We can add our logo in the top left. We can adjust the colors. We can adjust the fonts. We can start playing around with it. But you want to start with testing what format works, what images before and after, what project before and after works, things like that. And I am going to share the link to this in the description down below so you can get this template and start playing around with this. Just drag and drop your images in using Canva. It's a really awesome tool. This should help quite a bit. This will allow you to create tons of creative and allow you to get a little bit of a leg up here as a thank you for watching the video. So we would go ahead and upload images like that. So I'll go ahead and click add image, or sorry, add media, add image, and then hit upload. And this is going to allow me to go ahead and select some images here. So I'm just going to select, I'm going to select and upload one of them because we're just creating one ad for now. And I'll hit next. After you can see all this and it looks like you can select it, you're good to hit next. I don't play around with these. Generally, Facebook knows what's best for optimizing. which is why I don't play around with these at all. But if you do have something where you have a lot of text, you kind of need to make sure you're selecting original here. Otherwise, it's not going to show your image correctly. You're getting a lot of stuff cut off. In this case, I'm totally fine with that because it actually looks like it'll really stand out in the news feed if it looks like these variations. I'll hit next again. And similar idea here. Optimization wise, generally Facebook will tell you whether adding optimizations make sense or not. Usually I just enable it even if it's not enabled because I do like what Facebook does. They generally take your one image and end up with hundreds of variations with text on it, some text on different sides. It'll be a video version, they'll add some music. They go wild with just creating as many variations as possible to help you convert better. So I do generally turn that on. Then I'll hit done. And now we just have to add our copy. You can see we have our image with pretty much nothing else yet. You can see our page here, but that's about it. So primary text, this is the main text that shows right at the top here. And this is the one that we use for our cost calculator style pages. So it'll be bathroom remodeling costs in Grimsby area. We are here to transform your bathroom. Let us take the hassle away from you with our bathroom cost estimator. Headline is just bathroom cost estimator for Grimsby, Ontario, or we just put city and then area for Grimsby area. That's generally what it looks like when you're doing these cost calculators. Now, if you're doing something a little bit different and maybe you just want to make sure you're attracting in the right type of folks, you would probably adjust this for like if you're making a financing offer or you just want them to get a concept call instead. And I'll actually just add this as another option here because you can test copy that way. You might do something more like um, get a free bathroom remodel concept call where we can show you exactly what your new bathroom would look like virtually if you use some type of design tool. And that way you can have things like that to attract them in. Generally, we don't like using a lot of financing and discounts just for that reason that financing and discounts attracts a certain type of buyer or a certain type of homeowner. But by all means, you could also do something very simple like or you just do something like this: wanted bathrooms over 7 years old. If your bathroom is over 7 years old, you may qualify for our bathroom remodel showcase program. Special financing programs available. Just click learn more to get started. And this would be something where you position it as, hey, if you have a bathroom over 7 years old, rather than saying, hey, let me give you $1,000 discount, it's, hey, we're actually going to give you a discount because of this remodel showcase program where we are going to remodel your bathroom at a discount. And then we are going to go ahead and film it like crazy to produce content for organic promotion. And that's why we're offering the discount. You phrase the discount and frame it in a way where it makes sense, where it's not just, hey, let me give you a discount and get the lowest price possible. We say special financing programs available just because it's better than just saying, pay over 60 months. It's like, no. Let's work out the financing that works for you. We'll just call it special financing programs. So any variation works. We typically use this because we do use these estimators quite a bit, but by all means, things like this can also work very, very well. Headline you can also test as well. You just hit add another option. You can add more. And then call to action will be left as learn more. The only other thing we need to add is the website. And so you would go ahead, go to your website, go to your funnel, wherever you are pulling information from, or wherever you're going to send traffic to, copy the URL, paste it in, and it's basically good to go. One thing I do recommend, actually, this is a pretty cool, like awesome add-on that Facebook added. Add a call button. It's useful as long as, and this is a big caveat, only if you can answer the phone 24 hours a day. You do not have after hours service, or they're very flaky, or your front of desk staff's not great at picking up the phone. Do not turn this on. You're just going to burn people who should otherwise go to your website and become a lead. Because instead, they're going to call, and if no one answers, they're gone. They're moving on to the next ad. So if you have 24/7 coverage, put this in. If you do not, leave it as none. Do not use this. It's only going to hurt you more than it's going to help you. Now, for a website setup, this is basically good to go. We're good to hit publish. There's some other things that we might do just to better implement tracking. However, if you don't have the systems to handle that tracking, it's not going to be of any use to you anyways. So with that said, this is basically ready to go. So we would hit publish and we're off to the races. It'll take a few minutes to upload and then it will be live within 24 to 48 hours. Now, like I said, the link to this is down below. I'm realizing now this video is quite long, so I'm actually going to upload a secondary part 2 video where I walk through how to do this for an incident form, meaning collecting data on Facebook alone. But all that said, if you want us to actually get all this stuff up and running for you and basically implement exactly what I walk through here, from add to the actual cost estimating tool, to filtering, to your setup into concept call booking, to even the appointment setting team that's going to allow you to further book and effectively install all of the systems that we have used to get this client over $190,000 in new sales in just a single month of advertising. So all of the lead acquisition systems, all of the lead filtering systems, all of the appointment booking systems, and the pre-selling system that's actually allowed them to ensure that when they show up, they are not showing up to a price shopper. They're not showing up to someone who's going to be defensive the entire way through, but someone who's basically saying, great, I know you guys can deliver. Let's just work out the nuance of budget and let's just work out the nuance of what fixtures I need in my bathroom. So if you want all of that set up for you, by all means, there is also a link down below to book a call, a walkthrough call where I'm going to walk you through exactly how all this works, step by step, nothing held back. You can steal everything in our playbook, or at the end of that call, you can make a decision to work with us and we're happy to implement it all for you, whichever you choose. See you in the next video.